Now,
on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
O'Connor and Company.
It is 8:37 on this very busy Monday morning as we have been spending so much time reflecting on the events of September 11th. And I'm still sort of fired up and also kind of ticked off about our conversation we just had with Rick Prado, one of the CIA ops that were on the ground. Like literally within 24 hours, we had guys on the ground. Get his book. And if you missed that interview, please do listen when the podcast is available a little later this morning. 30 minutes from now, we'll get to Chris Plant, who I'm sure will have his personal memory. You know, he was the first reporter for CNN on the scene at the Pentagon. So he broke that story for CNN moments after the plane hit the Pentagon. So Chris Plant coming up in 30 minutes. And right there, we've done more to remember 9/11 than the Biden administration has done all day.
And
What
absolutely.
Joe Biden will do. I'm Larry Connor. That's Julie Gunlock. Let's move on to our other big story of the day. It happened over the weekend where Governor Glenn Youngkin has issued a full and complete pardon to our friend Scott Smith, just a dad out in Loudoun County who wanted to attend a school board meeting as they were debating the transgender bathroom policy, and he had a story to tell. He wanted to tell the truth about what happened to his daughter a month before. And boy, Scott, those events turned into probably just a hellish 2 years for you, and it must feel pretty nice to know now that it is officially all behind you.
Yeah, it's very relieving to wake up this morning and be able to focus in on something else, that's for sure.
Yeah. How did you hear about it? Governor Youngkin said on Fox News Sunday that he called you on Friday and gave you this news. Tell me how that happened.
It was a long, drawn out, month-long negotiation process to get to this point. We had heard from his team earlier in the month, but it didn't come to fruition until late last week. And one of my requirements was I wanted a phone call from him because I hadn't heard from him yet, ever. And I received that on Friday, and we discussed things, and I accepted the pardon, and we kind of kept it quiet until Sunday, and here we are now.
Well, I'm so glad that it happened. The governor is getting a little bit of criticism for, like you just suggested there, it took a long time for him to reach out to you. So I'd like to expand a little bit on that. How do you react to that? But also, Buddha Bibaraj has responded. She called it a political stunt. So if you could kind of give us your thoughts on that as well.
I kind of liked how my attorney put it back on her Twitter page last night. An Evel Knievel stunt of, epic proportions from her team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, pretty rich for her to call Youngkin for pardoning me, a political stunt when this would have never happened if she didn't try to pull a political stunt at the very beginning.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
So, she is the most evil person that I've ever met. And I've met some evil people. I fear that she's going to get reelected, though. People need to pay attention to this and make sure to go out and vote for Bob Anderson and get her out of office.
So from your perspective, Scott Smith, what did take that? I mean, the Youngkin team said, listen, they didn't want to the reason they took a while and they wanted this to be examined, they wanted independent investigation that they weren't relying on from Loudoun County. And they wanted to make sure that every I was dotted and T was crossed because they wanted to make sure that it was done right and not look political. Is that, from your perspective, why do you think it took this long, or do you think that it was done properly and appropriately?
I think it took too long. I think it could have been done way before this, but there were so many things going on. And that were more important, like getting to the bottom of what happened to the children in Loudoun County Public School. That special grand jury report was, the most important thing to come first and get done.
Right.
I think a pardon during that would have not looked good.
And then you had the superintendent fired, and then you had the indictments, and
yeah. So and then the other thing too is I refused to drop my pardon. I mean, not my pardon. I refused to drop my appeal.
Yeah.
So Youngkin couldn't appeal, couldn't pardon something that didn't exist. So he couldn't pardon me unless I dropped the appeal and, into the lower courts, which I refused to do. I wouldn't do it. I didn't do it. That's what took so long to make the deal is I did not want pardon for something that I didn't do, nor would I drop an appeal and accept responsibility in the lower court for something I didn't do, which made it very complicated for them to figure out how to do this process.
Good for you, because it could have, you're right, it could have gone away, but you wanted to stand up for what you did in protecting and speaking up for your daughter. But I want to ask your opinion on another official that was eviscerated in that grand jury report, and that is Robert Falcone. His last day with Loudoun County Public Schools is September 15th, but he has already been hired by the Alexandria City Public School System, which they seem to like the idea of covering things up and keeping secrets from parents, that school district. What's interesting also is Falcone came from Fairfax. He went from Fairfax to Loudoun, and now he's going to Alexandria City Public Schools. What would you say to parents in Alexandria about this guy?
This guy, he orchestrated the cover-up. He is a villain. He should not have a bar license. He should have been indicted by the special grand jury, for witness tampering and trying to hold back the truth and coaxing everybody. He should have been fired along with Ziegler. He wasn't, because he's also, was the brains, and the secret keeper. Mm-hmm. So.
And now he's an employee in good standing in Alexandria County School.
Yeah, so I'll be at the school board meeting tomorrow night to wish him, good riddance and remind him of everything that he did.
Give him a salute.
I really look forward.
Well,
Scott,
I
really look forward to it.
Every time we talk to you, I just want you to get back to normal and raise your daughter and be a good husband and put this stuff behind you. I don't think you'll ever be able to put it behind you. You're a changed man, of course. But I'm happy that this chapter is closed, and we have nothing but love and respect for you.
Yeah, we're happy it's closed too. We still have some fight to go, though. I'm going to hold elected officials here in Loudoun County responsible for allowing the egregious prosecution to go through.
Yep.
We're going to be filing a Title IX lawsuit within the next couple of weeks in federal court for my daughter. We just got going.
Good.
Now it's our time to hit the court.
There you go. I love it. But will keep us up to speed, please. But
thank you, Scott.
We got to leave it there. Always good to talk with you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
8:44.